Welcome to my A Sunday Thought. Yesterday, I did quite a few, all day, a lot of the day was done doing mini readings. I have been doing that once a month for people at a sale price, a reduced price. But this Saturday, which was yesterday, I discovered something. And I find often this is when I have a series of people coming in for readings in particular, I will find is often there is a theme. And yesterday was no exception. But it gave me pause to think, mainly because the majority, not all, but quite a few of my clients of the day were stuck and they didn't really know how to move on or how to create. So I questioned a little bit about their belief system, what they believed in, what they had faith in, how all of that worked and how it came to being. And what I discovered was many of them really didn't have a belief system, didn't have a philosophy. Pitch meal here and there. Some of them had a belief, but they didn't really know how to work it into their lives. And that brought me to a topic that I want to touch on today is faith. What do you have faith in? What do you believe? My whole journey began because I wanted to discover God. I was 7, and it really intensified when I became about 12. And it has taken me in many different directions, but I have, you might say, unfolded or cleared up or sorted out for myself what the word God meant. Not the traditional sense of a person in the sky, that's for sure, directing everything, but an energy that exists in our planet that's there to sort of to help us, to support us, I meant to say, to help us, that loves us, that cares, without judgment, no judgment whatsoever, not what we were taught when we were kids, going to Sunday school if you went, or what you would hear on the street, if you're bad, you're going downstairs, which only reinforces fear, guilt, regret. The guilt and regret are two things that I talk a lot about clearing, so people don't have that at the end of their lives, that they're at peace with what they've created or not created. But what do we have faith in? Do we have faith in ourselves? And that's the other thing. How much faith do we have in ourselves? How much? No, I have what the word is screwed up many times in my life by not listening to me, by listening to my mind, my thought patterning, my desire to have certain things. And I think that's how come I came to understand and have faith in that larger, I'm going to call it larger power, the universal love force is what I call it, or the source of our being. And because I took a path where I kept banging into walls, where I would learn something and apply it and it would work, and then I'd forget. I would forget to utilize it. It was almost like, oh, okay, I got this sorted out, let's go. And what I began to find was it didn't begin to work. And that's what I discovered yesterday when I don't have a lot of time in my mini reading, so I kind of have quick questions to figure out where they're at. I usually give them a little story and they relate to, yes, I relate to what you've said. That always makes me feel good, I have to admit, because sometimes I wonder, what am I saying? Had some phenomenal metaphors come through yesterday too, when I'm really working on remembering, because often I forget them because I just in the moment and it passes through me and then I forget them. But one was really, really good. And I want to be able to use that again in the future if the need comes up. But then if I trust and believe and have faith in me, the right metaphor always comes up for the person to understand where they're at and maybe what they need to do to move on. When you feel stuck, there is nothing worse, because it's as though you try every avenue to get unstuck. And unfortunately, and if our thinking is not where it needs to be, what ends up happening is that we end up rethinking all the things that won't work. Maybe, perhaps, maybe this may not happen. And we get into a depressive state where we don't believe, where we don't trust ourselves, we don't trust the world. And unfortunately, the collective consciousness, which I've talked about before on my Wednesday talks, as well as on Sunday, is full of fear and anxiety, and it's getting ramped up again, and it's piling on again. And people forget that they're in command of their lives, of how they choose to respond, how they want to. If they want to live in fear, that's how you're going to live. And when you create, see, people forget we create by how we think, feel, and respond. Now, those are my words. That's my belief. That's my understanding through years of hitting my head on the wall and wondering. I realized to keep your thoughts in the direction of what you're really wanting, not what you don't want, because then you're just giving more to that. And sometimes I have to also get a hold of myself, because the collective consciousness is big and murky right now. And I don't want to give it strength, but it is quite strong. And it's like gathering people that think like you do in order to help counter that fear, to counter that of what's going on. So when people who are not having access to other people very much, a lot of people are really isolated, what happens is that the vibration dips. And you lose faith. You lose faith in yourself. You lose faith in the world. You lose faith in whatever it is that you believe in. And so I think it's time that we really need to re-examine what we truly believe. Do we really believe we don't have a common sense? Do we really believe that what anybody says to us, which has an authority button to it, is correct? I don't know. I argued with my father the whole time. He was the authority in our house. I have a tendency to argue. I think I would have made a great debater if I'd known about debating many years ago. But at the same point, it's like I know that my faith has led me through many, many trials. Because the bottom line is, I know all I have to do is ask for direction. I ask for whatever it is I require and need. Now, sometimes that is just showing up without me even asking. And that is the miracles that happen at times. You're not alone in this world. There is an energy that loves you, that wants to support you 100%, that wants to be there for you. But you need to reach out and let it in. And there's many of us that speak about how to let it in, how to work with it. I work with all my transformation clients to work at bringing that love in bit by bit by bit until they absolutely can say, yeah, I can feel that love inside me. It doesn't happen always overnight. It happens with consistent awareness that love is there for you. And this planet is about love, is about acceptance of each other. It is about accepting our differences. It is about accepting who we are and loving people for having brains, I'm going to say, to think and be able to be aware. So in this week, what I'd like you to do is just think about your faith. Do you have any faith? And if you do, where do you have faith? And I know right now, most people are not gathering. They're not gathering in communion. They're not gathering to sing songs of praise to life and the beautiful world. So if you can, look at it, look at the scenery around you. Look at the beauty wherever it is, because the energy resides there. I just want you to be happy. I want you to feel strong. And I want you to know you're never really stuck. You just need to ask for the faith to come in. Thank you very much for listening to my Sunday Thought, and join us on Wednesdays for my Norma talks on various subjects. And thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribing. Thank you for getting in touch with me. I should say your comments and getting in touch with me through my website, normacowie.com. You have a great Sunday and a great week.